I think it is done, right? Okay, so we'll proceed further. So let's see what's next. So I think on the other day we were covering the installation of Ansible. We're done with the Ansible server setup, verification of, then also we're done with the client. Okay. And we saw how to check the kernel architecture also, I told you. Then I also told you how to configure the client. So that is what we done on the other day. Now today what we are going to do is we are going to cover YAML fundamentals, guys. So YML fundamentals, okay? So that's our priority for next today and tomorrow. We'll try to do some hands-on with Ansible, writing some playbooks and see how things are going to work. Okay. So now the question comes is why you require a YAML fundamentals to be learned. The reason, because either you want to go with a playbook or you're planning to handle the host inventory file, whether playbook or inventory file, you require YML knowledge because the pattern that you write in that files, correct, you need to follow YML. In fact, the playbooks uses something called modules. Module syntaxes have to be followed in YML style only. So in simple words, if you want to manage playbook or host inventory file, YML knowledge is required. And YML full form is yet another markup language. Okay, the file extension is .yml or YAML. Am I clear on this? So if I talk little technical, I would say in the playbook, we write some deployment script and this script is written on the server side, right? So whatever the script that you're trying to write, it is written in YAML only. So that is a fundamental point. Now file extensions, you need to remember .yaml or YAML. Now in the YAML, for a DevOps perspective, you need to learn 3 formats, guys. You need to know, no need to learn entire YML or 4 to 5 days of knowledge is not required for us because that is for programmers. So programmers who want to do coding in YAML, so they will learn because YAML itself is our 4 to 5 days of knowledge only. But from the perspective of the DevOps, so you just need to know how to write in a format only. So basically, the modules which you are going to use in a playbook will try to use any of this format or combination of these formats. So what are the 3 formats? We have something called key value pair. Next one is list and next one is map. So first one is key value pair. So you need to know how to write it. For example, I will say A is equal to 10, like school mathematics. A is equal to 10. I'll say B is equal to 20. So first let's cover this. So A is equal to 10. So if I'm planning to write this in the form of YAML, then I would have to write like this. A colon 10 ratio in the format of ratio. But when you're writing in YAML style, you need to follow this pattern. The is to symbol should come towards left hand side. So see, childhood mathematics of writing a ratio format, we are well known. So that is super easy for us. But if you're trying to write in YAML style, the same thing you need to write like A is to give a space and type 10. Are we clear on this? Confirm, guys. If you understood, please type it, got it. Quick. Okay. Because only 3 formats you need to capture into your brain. Even if you see 100 modules also, they all follow the same story only. Okay. So If you say somebody says A is equal to 10, you need to know how to put it in a ratio, right? Our childhood mathematics, then convert that ratio into simply like this format. Okay. One more. So let's say B is equal to 20. So B is to 20. In YAML style, it is nothing but B is to give a space and 20. That's it. YAML. Am I clear on the YAML case? Key value pair. Now there are some conditions apply. Like when they'll say it is free, but they'll say the terms and conditions apply. Some terms and conditions. So see how I'm writing. A is to 10. B is to 20.50. What is B value now? It is decimal. Sorry, decimal values, correct? So A is an integer value and B is a float value, correct? Some dots are there, some decimal values are there. So C is to AP28DC0505. I'm writing some alphanumeric, my vehicle number. I'm just written the vehicle number there, some alphanumeric, okay? Now you need to remember that when you're writing the alphanumerics, you need to use single quote. Okay, that is what you need to remember. D is to, when you're writing some strings or some sentences or words, you need to use double quotes. These are only rules you need to remember. So please copy this quick example into your books. So first one is an example of a decimal, integer. Second one is an example of some decimal values. Third one is an example of alphanumeric. And fourth one is an example of string or a word. Okay. So which will go in double quotes. Anuja got it. Arun, Atif, Ranga, Divya. Okay, nice. Now we'll move on to the second format. So what is the second format? List. Okay, so let's see the second format. List. So second format is list, guys. So technically in other languages, if you have touch in your college days, maybe if you're from, I would say IT background, maybe somewhere computers are touched. So you might have heard a word called arrays, right? So the arrays concept that you heard in your academics or when you learned some languages or heard somewhere. So arrays concept of what you learned in IT is exactly equal to the list concept of YAML. Okay. Now, first of all, you need to know what is an array. So tell me, guys, array. So can I give you the best example to make you understand? How many of you are not aware of what is an array? Based on that, I'll take the example. If most of you guys know it, then it's easy. Please raise your hands if you're not aware. Okay. So considering I see a few people not aware, so no worries. So let's see. Okay, now let's go back to the school age. School fun. In a school, did you learn something called sets concept? Best example from this, we can pick it up. Did you learn sets, at least in your second class, third class? Sets concept, right? So the sets, I'll write one set, guys. Tell me. Set of weekdays. Okay, I'll open this. I'll say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Can I say it is a set of a weekdays? First of all, you have to tell me. Can I say it is a set of a weekdays? Question number one. The answer is yes. Second question, is it a proper set or an improper set? From this, we'll derive the arrays concept, guys. Is it a proper or improper? It's a proper set. How come you guys have decided that it is a proper set? The answer is proper only. But you need to know what is the basis or fundamental principle of deciding what is a proper set. So We decided based on the elements. Am I right? Do you agree? We decided based on elements. All the elements in that group, this one, they belong to the same category. Do you agree? Yes or a no? They all belong to the same category only. Correct? So that is the thumb rule here, which we decided that it's a proper and improper. Now the same example, I'll take in other style. So here, instead of Saturday and Sunday, I'm planning to write some Jan and Feb. Now you tell me whether it's a proper set or improper set. Can I call this is a set of a weekdays? The answer is no. I won't call because, and it is also an improper set. The reason is the same fundamental basis. Elements which are sitting there, I see that 5 are same and 2 are odd. Am I correct? 2 are odd, right? So whatever you learnt in the childhood, sets concept is somewhat similar or same to that of arrays concept of IT. How it is same. So in arrays, what happens is the thumb rule is a variable should have capability to hold more than one value. This is a thumb rule number one. So now if this is a example for you, then let's say you have to tell me what is a variable and what is a value here. Tell me guys. In this A is equal to tell me what is a variable and what is a value. So in this example, I would say A is a variable. The definition of the variable is simple. It is holding some value. Correct. It is holding some value. So A is a variable which holds a value called 10. That's it. So if it can hold only one value, then that is not an array, guys. So if a variable can hold or can remember, or you can say you can feed or data, whatever it is. So more than one value, then that is an array. But to say an array, they have defined some other properties also. By simply rule number one is not the criteria. The rule number two is, so whatever the elements that you're trying to enter or whatever the values, see whatever the values that are trying to push into that variable, okay, all should belong to the same category. Clear on this point? So something like this, A is equal to, I would write like this now. To make you understand, I'm writing in simple guys, but I'm not writing in technical. So 20, 30, 40. Out of blue, if I write something called ABC, does it make sense there? Do you think A is holding all same category? No. So we have bypassed the rule number two. So I would say now rule number two is also satisfied. Clear? A variable should hold more than one variable, more than one value. Point number two, all the elements or the data that you entered should belong to the same category. Point number three, very important. They all should be stored in a continuous memory location on disk, on storage, or you can say anything. The storage can be anything. So whatever the data that you're trying to enter, so all these guys should sit in continuous memory location on this storage. Like in your school age or college days also, guys, girls will sit one side and boys will sit another side. Correct? Do you agree, guys? In continuous memory location, see the girl sits, or boy sits, they sit one after the other, side by side. Correct. So They are being stored in a continuous memory location, in a block storage of your block of your storage. So these are being stored in a continuous memory location. Now, do you know the reason why they are stored? Reason? Why the metric number 3 is so critical in telling that it is an array? So only rule number 1 does not satisfy an array, guys. Rule number 1 is should be satisfied. Rule number 2 should also be satisfied. And rule number 3 also should be satisfied. When all three are being satisfied, then only we call that concept as an array. What is the reason, guys? Tell me. Any guess? Those are champions of some language. Please give me the answer. I am also some champion of some language, but I want to know the answers from you. So they are being stored in a continuous memory location on the storage. The reason is read and write becomes fast because computer knows that these are being stored in one location. First of all, read and write activities will work much faster. That's it. You just see the difference, guys. So in a small program, you'll not find fundamental differences, but like a something called bank or financial big projects. So at that time, you'll see a lot of difference. A data which is stored in non-array and the data which is stored in array, you will see that lot of difference in the speed of execution. That means read and write fast activities will be super fast. And second fundamental reason is the data is always stored at one location. That is what I told you. At one location, they're being sitting continuously. Since they are sitting at one location or one block, I would say, or one point, then it becomes easy from the compliance perspective that you can apply the security policies effectively. You understood why? Security is the next major reason why they prefer the arrays, guys. Because if the data is scattered on the disk, managing the data which is scattered is a more complex than the data is sitting at one location. That is the cinema behind the actual story of security. Clear? So from the security perspective also, the data, if it is sitting in one location, it becomes easy for the security monitoring or security managing tools to effectively control the data and provide proper access. Clear? Understood? Third reason is, as usual, generally the speed is super. This I already told you. So this is happening because of this only. Okay, because they are sitting at one continuous location, all three will go hand to hand. That is a benefit of using arrays. Am I clear on arrays concept now? Ranga, are you clear? Okay. So keep in mind. So if I talk now technically, so array is a concept where you're trying to store the similar data types. Simple. So if you talk too much IT, what happens is they say that array is a something where a variable is trying to save or carry the data of similar data type. But if I try to derive this subject from sets of your school, you will understand easily. Clear? Those are even from non-technical background. I hope this example perfect suitable for you. Please take down this example quickly. Sets also take it in your books if you're not aware what is an array. I don't know how many of you did not understand in your college days this arrays concept knocking your heads. Okay, now let's move on to the YAML. So since I told you in the YAML, the arrays concept here we call it as list. That's it, list. So list is nothing but arrays. Arrays is nothing but list. So technically we should refer here as list. Now you need to know how to write it. Okay. So one example I'll take, then I'll show you how to write it. So let's say this is the same example. I'll show you how to write it. Okay. Same sets example. So if the set is given like this, you need to know how to write. So this guy weekdays is called as key. In earlier example, I forgot to tell you. So this you see it right. I forgot to tell you guys. So this is called key actually. And this is called value. That's the reason it is called key value pair. I repeat, this is called key and this is called value. Together they are called key value pair. Now here come back. Now this is called as key. Okay. And these are called values. So just a school example I'm converting. So you need to know how to write. So week, days, colon, key is written and values. So when you're writing the values, the thumb rule you need to remember is you need to start with a hyphen. Thumb rule is you need to start with a hyphen and give two spaces, 1 and 2. Then write month, hyphen, 1 and 2. Tuesday. This is how you need to write hyphen 1 and 2. Wednesday, hyphen 1 and 2. Thursday, hyphen 1 and 2. Friday, hyphen 1 and 2. Saturday. Make sense? The same data I written in the list format. Understood, Kavya, Kirti, Shravya, Mayuri, Maunika, Nagireddy, Nayak, Rajat, Bhagat. So at the end of the class, please let me know. I'll tell you one good news. One more student selection happened. So in a big company. Okay. So this is how you need to write, guys. So the one more example, one last example I'll do. So for example, this is your example. Then how do you write it? How do you write it? If this data is given like this, how do you write it? So we'll say countries is a key and values hyphen Russia. Now you need to keep in mind in Ansible, you have to be very, very careful. See, the Russia is written in capital. Okay. And you write here small, it will not work. So however the value, see, the value has to be the same. So don't change their, what I can say, capitalization or whatever it is. So that means I'm talking about case sensitive stuff. So as it is. So it is Russia, R capital. In the USA, hyphen 1 and 2. Don't write like this, it is wrong. Okay. The question was USA. You need to write like that only. So case sensitive is applicable here. India. Got it? Take down these two examples quickly into your book. Example 1 and example 2, how to write the list. Now thumb rule is what? Hyphen 2 spaces and write the value. And keep in mind, so once the values are everything is done, at the end you need to leave one line empty. So that means I'll put some identification like this. So one line is empty. After that, you can start another module. So always leave one line empty, guys, and then start another module or another stuff, whatever it is. So after the values are written, after the last one, please leave one line empty space. That's an indication that it is done. Like in programming languages, I hope you know that in programming languages, we'll open brackets like this. So once the programming is done, we close the bracket. But here we don't have brackets concept. At the end, you need to leave one line empty. So that's an indication that block is over. So let's say if I'm trying to club these two, I would put, so I'll not put like this. I'll put like this. Easy? Because I left one line empty here. Thereafter, I started another list. Okay, now let's move on to the last one, the maps. Maps, guys. No, YAML developer, not a big role. Very crazy, Anuja. The YAML language itself is 4 or 5 days knowledge. Again, for that, don't expect big developer roles. These are all super easy. Okay. So maps. Next concept is maps concept or maps format. So let's see how to write the maps now. So maps. So maps are also called as referred as dictionaries. So in other languages we call this as dictionaries, or in YAML we call it as maps. So they look somewhat same, okay, but I'll show the same example how it is written. So if this example they given to you, or let's take it the earlier example of countries, the same example, okay. Let's say take this one. I'll show you how to write in the maps format. Please put this heading maps. So you need to know how to write in the map style. So let's say this is a data. You start with value, sorry, key, countries. So this is a key, and these all guys are called classified as values. So start with a key, colon, then write the values, guys. So now when you're writing the values under the map, please do not use hyphen. I repeat, you're not supposed to use hyphen. So then what you need to start? So you need to start with spacing convention. Minimum space is 2, maximum space is 5. I repeat, minimum space is 2, maximum space is 5. So it's up to you whether you follow 2, 3, 4, 5, it's up to you. But minimum is 2, max is 5. So I'll say 1 and 2. Okay, Russia. So whatever the first element that you started with 2 spaces, you need to follow the same rule for the rest of the elements also under that key. So 1 and 2. I'll say India. So I know that Russia has been started with 2, but if I'm trying to go with more than 2, 1, 2, and 3, if I write like this, AUS Australia, then it is wrong. You'll get an error. The reason is the first element is carrying 2 spaces, second is also carrying 2, third one should also be the 2. Let's say first one is you started with 3, then this also should be 3, and this also should be 3. Am I clear on this example? Confirm, guys. This is one of the thing where generally students do mistakes in understanding. Actually, I find some students making a mistake in understanding only. So in the list, you will use hyphens. In maps, you don't use hyphens. But one extra rule applies is first element, whatever the first element that you taken, you have to follow 2 to 5 as a spacing convention. Indentation, we call it as. So if you stick with a rule number, let's say 2 spaces, then rest of the elements also 2. If you stick with 3, rest of the guys also 3. If you stick with 4, rest of the guys also 4. That's it. So take down this example, guys. Now, next biggest question from the interview perspective, guys. This is one of the frequently asked questions. So please take down side heading that says interview question. So the question is most highly rated question in this segment is, so what is the difference between the list and maps? So do you think they are same? So difference is there. Difference is there. Okay. So with one example, let's do it. So I'll say states. Let's say TS, AP, neighbor Kerala. We'll use it. Okay. Let's say this is an example for you. Let's say in the list. Okay. In a list format, I'm writing. In the list format, I should write like this: states, colon, hyphen, two spaces TS hyphen two spaces AP hyphen two spaces Kerala. I've written this. Okay. So whatever I just written this, it is absolutely correct format. Okay. For example, the same if I write in this style, hyphen AP two spaces TS hyphen two spaces Kerala. This is incorrect. Any guess why I said it is incorrect? Okay, I'll write more. One more. The same if I'm planning to write in maps style. So let's see the maps concept. Okay, maps. Okay, so let's see maps. States space EP space TS space Kerala. This is absolutely correct. Nothing wrong. Again, the same similar style states. First, I'll start with TS, next with AP, the next with Kerala. This is still correct. So what is the difference? So simple logic is, the simplest logic is list follows the order. Maps order does not matter. You can call the elements, declare in any order, but in the list, you have to follow the order. So if I say some life example that you might have seen. So in your college days, final exams is an ordered way of sitting arrangement. Do you agree? Simple guys. Whatever the exam that happen in your college, some I would say weekly test or some what I would call weekly test or monthly test they conduct in the college days. So those is like you can sit in any order. You guys will sit, you say, okay, please sit in the ground and write it. So you guys will go to the ground and sit in any order of your style, right? So you will decide your places and happily you'll write your exam. But when you go to the final exam, so and so center, you have to sit in an order as per the roll number. You understood the example what I'm talking? So list is an order and maps is an order. Okay, so take down this example, guys. So this is one of the biggest difference, and this is the very fundamental question from the maps, or I meant to say from the YAML, mostly asked question, guys. Is it done? Prithvi, is it done? Rahul, Rohini, Samir, Sanjay? Okay, nice. So we have done. The next, so this is all about the three formats, guys. Okay. Now I'll wantedly put a sample code on the screen. This is a sample code only. And I'll highlight the parts and you have to tell me what it is. So if I'm highlighting this, tell me which format it is. Format. Which format? No, whatever I highlighted only. You need to focus on highlighted stuff only. That's a key value pair. So if I highlight like this, then which format it is? Is it map or a list? So the part which I highlighted, you need to keep an eye on it and tell me, is it a map or a list? So the answer is map. Map, it is not the list. Because I told you na, Rahul. Who is this? Rahul only, I guess. So there is no hyphen. See, the elements are not starting with hyphen. And you see the key and its values. Even each value can be written, each element can be written again in the key value pair format. Okay. So now let's open one sample syntax. That's the reason I'm trying to tell you this YAML. Otherwise, not required. So go to the google.com and I'll open one sample service module in Ansible. Open this. So you have to just keep an eye on here. I'll show you the sample codes. See, you came to know how to write it now. Sample codes are there. See, so most of your coding in YAML will follow mapping style only, not the array style, map style. Most of the codings or in your scripts, you'll use map style. And even in my project also, we are doing the same thing. So I'll highlight some file you have to tell. See this, what you see on the screen in my project, some stage is UAT. So the coding is written in which style, guys? Just this is actually PowerShell or yeah, YML. Sorry, yeah. You see this? If I highlight like this, just if I highlight like this, tell me. You understood now? In my project, 90% of the coding is written in YAML. All these are pipeline scripts. Correct? So this is a list or a map, guys? You have to tell me. Is this a list or a map? First of all, I want that answer. So that is a list, not map. Guys, that is a list. There is a hyphen for it. Under demands, you see hyphen, hyphen. That is a list, not map. If I highlight like this, then is it a map or a list? It's a map because rest of the element they don't carry. So this is how, guys, this is how the simple formats you need to know how to write it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, I hope you understood the three formats. And the next concept is you need to go on with IDE. So you know why we require IDE? What is the reason for using IDE, guys? What is an IDE? Any knowledge on IDE? IDE. Okay. Full form is Integrated Development Environment. So not to talk too much on this because this too much knowledge is required for the developer. Okay. But for us, you need to know how to use it. That's it. So simple point. Once upon a time, the code is being written in text processors like Notepad. In 90s, 80s, and 1990s era, they used something called Notepad text process. Like in the Notepad, they used to write the codes and they used to check. So going forward, what happened around 90s 5 or 97 sometime, IDE concept came into the market. So some kind of applications have evolved in the market. So you have to start writing the code in that application or in that window or application, whatever it is. So what happens is once you write, they are capable of checking whether the code is written correctly or not. That means I would say there is a function called debug. They can debug or they can check whether the code is written correctly or not. Even to next level, the development happened. Once upon a time, Notepad, then IDEs evolved. Initially, they were only capable of testing, checking whether the code is written correctly or not. Now today the IDEs have evolved to an extent that even when you're writing itself, they can tell you whether you're writing right or wrong. So let's say you're writing 5 lines of code. First line you written, everything is okay. Second line, okay. Third line, the moment you're writing something wrong there, you'll get some kind of an indication telling you that, okay, you're writing something wrong. Like example, in your MS Word document, guys. MS Word. Everybody knows MS Word now? Yes or no? MS Word. Yeah. When you write something, some English sentences in that MS Word, you see some red color markings will come trying to tell you, okay, please do spell check. Correct? Spell check, write it, grammar missing. At the moment you're writing, they're able to sense it. So that feature we call it as IntelliSense actually. IntelliSense, not intelligence. IntelliSense. So end of the day, the bottom line is today we are using IDEs to write our code. So if you write the code in IDEs, the benefit is the moment you're writing itself, they can tell you whether you're writing correct or wrong. Second benefit is they can help you with the debugging. After you written, you want to check the code, they can do it, compile and can give you the answers. So this is the actual benefit of your IDEs. Clear? Now, one of the best tools in the market about the IDEs is Visual Code Studio. Now, earlier, Ansible, when came into the market, they recommended a tool called Atom. That was the most preferred tool for Ansible. When you're writing the Ansible YAML codes, most of the people used Atom. So slowly what happened is Ansible, as you know, this was purchased out by IBM. So the Atom lost somewhat its relevance. And just a month ago, Atom has been closed. Earlier, I meant to say last batch, before last batch, I used to use Atom only. Even I used to use Atom. But from the last batch, I started using another tool for Ansible to write my code. The branded one in the market is Visual Code Studio. So Visual Code Studio, or you have something called what is that? Eclipse. A lot of tools are there, guys, in the market. So there's a list here. You can see the list. Okay. So Visual Code Studio, Atom, Eclipse, IntelliJ, STS, NetBeans, lot of tools are there in the market. You can use any one of them. But if I tell you frankly, currently in the market, Visual Code Studio is dominating. Okay. So I recommend you guys to become little tech savvy with the Visual Code Studio. Okay. So we'll start doing the Visual Code Studio installation on your computers, and we'll start using that tool to go ahead and write the code. Got it? Okay. So go to the google.com and say Visual Code Studio. Understood now? So Visual Code Studio. So click on this. So you know who's this brand is? Tell me, guys. Who owns this Visual Code Studio? Any knowledge? Who is the owner for Visual Code Studio? So it's a Microsoft, guys. Microsoft tool, very popular. So I recommend you guys to use this. It is so flexible and you'll be happy also. You can use for even other things also, but this is the best one. So go ahead and download and install it. That is your duty, guys. So go to the downloads and install. Installation, it's all about easy. Next, finish. Okay. So once you have done it, then technically on your computer, you'll have the Visual Code Studio like this. Got it now? So this is what last batch I started using. Before that, I was using Atom only. Atom is currently not available. It has been closed. It is not in use now. So start migrating to Visual Code Studio. At least one tool you should be good. Now, in the Visual Code Studio, once you have installed it, what you need to do is please install two plugins here. So two plugins are required generally. So you need to go into the extensions, guys. Okay. You need to install plugins. Plugins here we call it as extensions. Okay. In Jenkins, we had a habit of calling plugins. In Android phone, what we call it as, guys, in Android phone, I guess we call it as apps, mobile app. In Jenkins, we call plugin. In Microsoft, we are called this. In this tool, we are calling extension. Terms are changing, matter is same. Okay, go to the plugins. Left hand side, how to recognize plugins. Now, be aware that you need not to be expert in this. Okay, if you want to have little knowledge on this, spend some time on weekend, Saturday or a Sunday. I'll share you some nice web link on YouTube. So just it's hardly 1 hour knowledge only, guys. But by the time you'll get tech savvy, that's fine. So left hand side, you click on this boxes symbol. This is called extension. Okay. You need to click on extensions. And these are all the plugins which are installed. So what plugins you need to install? I do a lot of things. For me, I use a lot of things, but for you, you have to only go with few plugins. You have to install a plugin called Remote SSH, guys. Please write these names. Okay, this is a plugin name. Please write it. Then just give me 2 minutes, guys, because couple of plugins are same story. Okay, so guys, go with the Remote SSH plugin. And then next plugin you need to install is YAML. This is the plugin. YAML. YAML. Am I clear? Okay, just give me 2 minutes, guys. Okay, I'm back. Fine. So let me open up this. So Visual Code Studio. So I prefer that we'll go in a different style, not to use these plugins. So what you do is you go to your GitHub account. I'll show you one easy technique so that you'll know how to work with the version control systems also. Go to your GitHub account after installing this Visual Code Studio, guys. Okay. After installing this Visual Code Studio, I want you guys to go into the GitHub account. And I suggested two plugins, right? Which plugin? Remote SSH, and other one was, what was the other one? YAML plugin, correct? So I recommend only to install this. You can ignore remote SSH. Only install this. Only install this, guys. You can ignore this one because I want to show you like a DevOps style. So you can ignore this. So use this. Install YAML plugin. Reason? We're installing this plugin or extension because when you're writing the code, it will tell you whether you're writing correct or wrong. If you're writing something incorrect, it will highlight. That's a benefit of YAML. Then once it is installed and plugin is also there, now go to your GitHub account and create a repository, new repository for your practice. So I will say this is Ansible. Your batch's code is what, guys? 31B. Okay. Got it. So I'm going with the private repo since this is a class. And this is a 31B Ansible codes. And you just select README file. And then click on create repository. Okay, I done. So just copy this, go to HTTP and copy this. I hope you guys know this stuff. Copy this and come to your computer somewhere. It's up to you guys. So open up your Git bash. Okay. And I recommend you to go into the CD drive. So CD colon. Okay, I'm in C drive. You can see, guys. Am I clear? I'm on C drive. Confirm. Please write the steps, guys. These are not there in the notes. Even I need to update because last batch we are not using that ID. So CD colon, I went into the C drive. Now PWD, it is telling that I'm in C drive only. Now what I'll say git clone and put that URL link here. Paste. Sorry. Git clone. And where is that? Copy this again and put it here. Press enter. It is a clone and not a globe. Okay. So it cloned. You can say it cloned here, right? So once the cloning is finished, what you need to do is, I'll show you simplest technique, guys. So a lot of people have headaches in opening this stuff. I kept my folder in C drive. You can see, you can go to the C drive. This is what I just got it now. 31B Ansible classes. Just now see the date also, 21/2/23/945. Okay. So once you see that folder got cloned, what you do is just say file simply say open the folder. That's it. That is the only thing you have to do. Why it is connecting? I want this to stop. Why it is not stopping? So this plugin is troubling. I'll say open the folder again. Hold on, let me close this. It got stuck. Okay, fine. So they open folder. No, it is not coming. So what is the trouble here? Okay, let's try from here. Or let me go back. Mouse is not responding. This is troubling. So I don't want this plugin to operate. Please stop this. Terminal ports. No. No, I don't want to restart. If I restart, I will lose the class. So what I'll do, I'll go to the extensions. I'll remove that plugin, which is not required. This is what it is troubling now. Uninstall. Yeah, close. Please close. We don't require that. Okay, it's gone. So what we'll do is we'll open up the folder, and yeah, it's finally working. So go to your C drive and choose that folder which was cloned, that is 31V Ansible, and say select folder. Definitely this project folder gets opened. Am I clear on this step? You see the README file which was written now? Yeah, I hope everybody are on the same page. So just only install YAML plugin, guys, nothing else. Then open up the folder. Once it is ready, just add a sample file here. Okay. Add a file, new file. What is that file name? Example1 on test, or you can say example1 on sample on execution process. I'm just creating a file on execution process, guys. I'm not writing any code. I don't have any plans to write the code. Just what I'll do is I want you guys to just copy paste the sample code. Your target is to learn. Okay. Copy the sample code. Just copy from the notes, whatever you see. And go there and just paste it. Nothing else. Paste it. So we'll talk about how to write this in the next class. But at this point, you just have to copy paste. Okay. So make sure that you align like this, guys. Whatever is you see the white line, this, right? So once you copy paste this correctly, then go ahead and save this file. Save it. Saved. Then once you click on save, then go back to this. You know this symbol. What is this symbol in the Visual Code Studio? Any idea, guys? Those who are using it. So the from top, the third symbol is about commit, because this highly integrates with your commit also. Okay. So just click on it and it will tell you, please commit it. So by default, Visual Code Studio will have the talent of Git also, guys. It integrates with the Git. If you don't see Git, this symbol not coming, install the extension called Git only. Extension Git, same plugin called Git. Now I'll give a commit message. What is that commit message? I'll say example 1, sample execution process. Click on commit. Say yes. So once the commit is finished, you'll get this message that says sync changes. What is happening? See the symbol, it is very straight. If you click on sync changes, you say okay. It will travel to the server. It will travel to the server. And it pushes the code. Go back to the server and just verify it. You saw it now? How this is coming? Clear on this? So this is how you need to practice. Yeah. So once you see this here fine, then connect to your server. So that means for writing the code, we'll use Visual Code Studio and push it onto the GitHub. And from there, we'll connect to this server 192.168, 1.200. This is our server. Root. So we got connected to this server. So by looking into the code, tell me guys what I'm trying to install. What I'm trying to install? Git. Okay. Got it now? So will this install on the server or is this going to install on the client? That is what I want to know from you. Then anyway, I'll tell you the correction. Just tell me, this code, will it execute on the server or will it execute on the client? It will execute on the client only. The reason is we told it. See, in the host metric, we told, please execute on the client one. Who is the client one? Who is the client one, guys? You remember in the last class, we gave some configuration for client one. Correct? Our node computer, right? Which is defined in the inventory. Now, where is it? Yeah. Now I'll show you how to execute. So Ansible hyphen, first of all, you need to get that repo. Okay. So we'll say git clone, get that repo. here, because you need a copy also here now. Get that here on this machine. So supply your GitHub credentials. Okay, I need to use token now. I need to put the token, guys. You remember token where I saved? I don't know. Let me check. Okay, so this is the token of your batch. I saved somewhere. You have to use the GitHub token, guys. Authentication problem. Why? Okay, it is done. I copied correctly now. So you can see you got the repo. This is the repo. I got it here. So go into the repo and you check it. You see the file. Correct? My target is to execute this. To execute this, the command is, please write it in your notes. Ansible playbook example 1. Okay. Ansible playbook example number 1. And then say -i /etc/ you need to supply the inventory file. /i talk about the inventory file. And at the end, you need to say --, syntax check. You know why? So this last option can tell you if you're attaching to this. So anyway, first of all, this is a command, Ansible -playbook. And this is nothing but your playbook name. -i is you're telling that inventory file. The inventory details are declared here. And this option we are trying to tell to the computer that please check the program. So checking the program in Ansible, we call that as a dry run. So in the interview, they can ask you, how do you execute a dry run? So dry run will go ahead and check whether the code is written correctly or not. There are some errors. There is some error, guys, in the code. You see? So that means I need to go back to my code and check what went error. So indirectly, it is telling you the line number. Somewhere around line number, it is telling line 6, column 5, but may not be elsewhere. Rough number it is giving line number 6 is this only. So what we'll do is I'll write it literally instead of getting confusion. I'll write it. Okay. Hyphen name tag. This is a sample execution. Hosts, please do it on the client 1. Third task, what task I need to execute? So name of the task. This is install git yum module. We'll explain this coding stuff tomorrow, not now. So name of the application is no hyphen here. So name of the application is git, and the state is state or action. Yeah, state is present or installed. What is that? Because there are some values for it. I don't remember. present only. Okay, at the end you need to leave out one line empty. Always remember one line empty. And again, click on save. The moment you save, you'll get the symbol, repo symbol. Click on it, and it will ask you to enter the commit message. Enter it. I'll say updated my code, and then click on commit. Commit is done. Then click on sync. Now this will travel to the server. Okay. So we'll go and check here, see what happens. Refresh. Yeah, not yet received here because it's still showing 8 minutes ago. Just now, you can see the file got updated now. You can see the code which has been just updated by me. And you have to come back to your machine. And I guess you have to use git pull. You remember what is the use of pull? What is the use of pull, guys? Sushmita, what is the use of pull? Upendra, Shravani, Afros. So you'll get the latest code from the server to pick up the changes from the server and put it on your local site, correct? Yeah, git pull. It is asking the ID, same story, credentials. Done. Now go ahead and do the dry run. No errors. Easy. So it is telling that in the host, I got one more error now. One more error I got. It says that could not match the supplied pattern ignoring client one. Why? What is the reason? Did we write a client one or what? So let me check what configuration name has been given. Okay, we saved this as node 1, not client 1. So what we'll do? We'll change this to the client 1. Make sense? Otherwise, I need to update in the code again. You understood, guys, why I'm changing to the client 1? Everybody. See, either you need to update to the node 1. If you update node 1, then in the code also you need to update node 1. So just here I'm changing it. It makes easy my life easy. Client 1. Then check it again, try run. Everything is good. No warnings, gone. So that means it's telling that the code is perfect. Now, how do you execute? The same command, just remove this. Remove that syntax check and execute. Now, what happens is this will reach out to the client computer and it will try to install the Git. So, Sanjay, are you following me? Sashul, Vijay, Visveshwar, Upendra, Sushmita. So we are trying to understand how to execute. Okay, that should be the first learning. So it is trying to install the Git. Once the work is over, you'll get on the screen that okay, work is over. Then we'll check in the client. Okay. Why it is taking time? It's taking time. That's okay. So meanwhile, what I'll do is I have to remove this stuff from the nodes. because this is outdated concept now. Atom does not exist. Okay, so there is a sample code for execution. So this is the command to do a dry run, and this is to execute a playbook. So till here we were trying to do. So let's check on the machine. Still going on. You have to wait and see. So Sushmita and Ranga. So you guys understood why the Vamsi was trying to write the code in IDE now? Why our project guys were writing the code in IDE in your intern classes? Okay, I hope you got the connection now, got connected, right? So the intention of using IDEs is they will write the code there, and it's easy. And from there, they are trying to send it to the GitHub. From the GitHub, they are trying to get it onto the server and do it. In between, there is a Jenkins also there. So that is in our project works, but here we are trying to handle like this. Why it is taking time? Okay, so while it takes time, I want to tell you one success story, guys. One success story, one more. Some people definitely remember their trainer and call me and inform, but some don't. That's okay. So there is a lady called, what's her name? Sweta. Yeah. Sweta. I don't remember her surname. Some T, I guess. So she's a married lady. And she got, I guess, one kid. And 2017 pass out. Not password, pass out. And she joined DevOps course last year in somewhat in August. Okay, September, October. Our course is done. Then she done some internship, and November, December, somewhat in October, November, and December. And in January, she started preparing self, and we are in Feb. She got the job, and she kept almost like from 4 years entirely fake. Frankly, she kept fake experience of 4 years, but she was able to manage that 4 years of fake experience because of that internship assistance or some knowledge that she grasped, proper revision, and she got a 10 lakh package. 10 lakh package she got, guys. And company name is Johnson Controls, it seems. I don't know where is that company. Johnson Controls. It is US based company. And she got her posting in Pune as DevOps engineer. So this is one success story, hard work paid. So the moral is like you need to do your hard work, and you put your efforts, things will work. Okay. So that is a moral story. Still, why it is got stuck, guys? You don't want to install or what? First of all, the machine is reaching out. The machine is online. Yeah. It got connected. Why it is telling? You have to wait, guys. So there is no other way. So either it should say positive or either it should say negative. Positive or negative. Neither it is telling positive nor negative. So that means we have to wait. Okay. So we'll do one thing, guys. We are getting late. I hope some of you guys are late after 10 o'clock. So we'll stop it here. So what we'll do is, I hope this will give the response pakka, because it got connected to the machine and it will do its work, and you'll get a prompt, guys. Definitely you'll get your prompt back. And once your prompt back, go and check on to the client, log into the client and verify Git is there or not. Again, try out with the code by just changing the value to the absent here. If you say present, it will install. If you say the state to absent, like this, ABSENT, absent. Okay. So what happens is, if you again push this code and again run this, it should remove the Git from the computer. So try with both. First time try with present, next time try with absent. Present should install the Git, absent should remove the application. Clear? So that is how you'll come to know whether things are working or not. Yeah, you need to get into the client. That is the only thing. So go into the client computer, log in and just say git -- version. That's it. If you remove that, will not come. So try it with both the things. So here the point of interest is you need to know how to execute. So I recommend you guys to take down this sample code quickly. Please write this code into your box. I'll put it on the screen. Write it. And also do remember that we have to update the inventory file back to the client one, not the node machine. Earlier in classes, we given node one. Please change it back to the client one there in the inventory file. Or in the program, it's up to you how you want to manage your stuff. Okay, let me know once you guys have written this so that I'll stop the class. Change the state value to the absent. See guys, if it is present here, it will install. If you say absent here, it will remove. What is the application name? Git. Try with both absent and present values. Okay. Okay, I see a couple of guys have done it. So thank you guys. I'm done for the day and we'll catch up tomorrow as usual. Chalo, see you. Bye bye.